Police drones can read your heart rate from 500 meters away. Someone's building nuclear reactors at the site where we invented the atomic bomb to power ChatGPT, and OpenAI just announced that starting in December, you can use their chatbot to write erotica. Let me get this straight. We went from military AI contracts to trillion-dollar space data centers to help. I need a box to sext for me in under a year. Meanwhile, 16,000 people just got fired from Nestle, the company that makes frickin' Kit Kats. I think. I don't know. I like Kit Kats. Because automation is cheaper than humans, and Harvard researchers confirmed that mid-tier college graduates are being systematically locked out of entry-level jobs. But don't worry, you can buy groceries from Walmart chatbot now. You know, once you lose your job and you can't afford groceries anymore, so there's always that. Today we're speedrunning through the absolute frickin' circus that is AI in 2025. From space computers to biometric surveillance to the imminent heat death of the middle class. So buckle up. This one's going to be a little bit weird. It's like our early Halloween episode. But first, like and subscribe, would you? I would appreciate it. I know somebody said, don't ask me to like and subscribe until I've seen the whole thing. Well, I'd rather you do it now before you see the whole thing. Let's talk about everyone's favorite topic, being surveilled by flying robots. 1,500 police departments now have AI-powered drones, not cute hobbyist quadcopters. I'm talking about military-grade surveillance platforms that can, and I'm quoting the CEO of Dragonfly here, measure a person's heart rate, breathing, blood pressure, and oxygen levels from 500 meters away. I didn't know the police were all that worried about my blood pressure, but... So let's see, 500 meters, it's almost 5 football fields. A drone can read our biometrics from 5 football fields away without us knowing. So if you're in your backyard stressed out about your job, eating ice cream at 2 a.m., there's a non-zero chance a police drone is hovering somewhere going, I see Bob's got an elevated heart rate, a regular breathing pattern. Fat ass is raiding the ice cream again. The ACLU is suing Sonoma County because residents started to get a little mad when they started getting code violations from things that were in their backyard, tree-covered backyard, where a drone apparently couldn't see. But, they were looking through their windows. The drones were looking through the windows into the backyard. They too many hemp plants, citation. Unmaintained pool, citation. Surveillance, state generating revenue through your privacy violations, priceless. The great part is the technology that makes ChatGPT understand your screenshots is the exact same tech that lets drones identify you by your gait pattern. The models that make Sora generate videos, same ones analyzing crowd behavior for threat detection. Now that one's kind of handy. When China claims they built quantum radars that track individual photons to detect stealth fighters, it doesn't really matter if it's true or propaganda. What matters is we're in an arms race to build surveillance at the quantum level, while deploying consumer drones that can read your blood pressure from half a kilometer up. And everyone's acting like chatbots and omniscient surveillance state are separate things. They're not. Not at all. They're the same thing. One just has a friendlier interface. So here's a timeline check. OpenAI quietly removes military and warfare restrictions from terms of service in January of this year. In spring, Pentagon contracts worth $200 million for agentic AI workflows. This fall, trillion-dollar infrastructure deals with mysterious national security implications. October 20. Hey everyone, you can use ChatGPT to write erotica now. You see the pivot? Military contracts, surveillance, infrastructure, dick jokes. It's the American way. Weaponize it, monetize it, then slap some anime boobies in it and stick a feather in your cap and call it innovation. Speaking of innovation, StarCloud, a real company that exists, is building data centers in space. Space. And you know what? That makes more sense than what we're doing here on Earth. They want to launch a 5-gigawatt orbital data center, that's 5 times the Hoover Dam output, powered by solar panels and cooled by the vacuum of space for wildfire detection. Yeah, apparently. And definitely not military satellite targeting or mass surveillance. No, definitely that first thing, wildfire detection. Yeah, that's it. Meanwhile, on Earth, Radiant Nuclear is building a portable nuclear reactors at the original Manhattan project site. The same land where we enriched uranium to end World War II is now making mini reactors to power ChatGPT. The CEO literally said what was formerly the first Manhattan project site will now be the site of the first portable nuclear generator production. We went from split atoms to prevent nuclear apocalypse to split atoms so people can ask AI to make their emails more steamy. And who pays for that? We do. Through federal grants, state tax incentives, utility grid upgrades, and our monthly electricity bill that just keeps going up and up and up. Silicon Valley figured out how to socialize the energy costs while privatizing the profits. They're building nuclear reactors and space computers on our dime, then charging us subscription fees to use the services that we subsidized. I mean, that's brilliant. It's kind of evil, but it's brilliant. Let's check in with the people building this crap to see if they have any self-awareness. Jack Clark, not the same Jack Clark that used to play first base for the Cardinals back in the 80s. I'm sure you were thinking that. He is the head of policy. I don't know. I guess old Jack could be the head of policy if he's not dead. He's surely not dead yet. He says, quote, "It is as if you are making hammers in a hammer factory, and one day the hammer says, 'I am a hammer.' How interesting." He goes on to say, "We are growing extremely powerful systems that we do not fully understand. You are guaranteed to lose if you believe the creature isn't real." The creature. He called that the creature. The guy explaining this to governments and to Congress is using horror movie language. The creature. Buddy, my dude, if your job is to make this sound reasonable and you're calling it the creature, maybe you should have ChatGPT write some erotica for you instead. The part that's not funny at all, Nestle, 16,000 jobs eliminated. Goldman Sachs, hiring freeze, 3 to 5% cuts, launching 1GS 3.0 AI. Salesforce bragging about 100 million saved by automating customer service. 38% of Gen Z tech workers already know they're screwed. And the market loves it. We talked about this before. Duolingo stock, remember, jumped 30% after replacing humans. And when they made this Nestle announcement, it surged 7.6% on the layoff announcement today or yesterday. In that day, 7.6%. Wall Street figured it out. Fewer workers, more profit, line go up. Whichever way it goes. But here's the fun part, the part where the snake eats its own tail and chokes. Walmart plus OpenAI just partnered so you can buy groceries via chatbot. You know, after they automate away your job so you can't afford groceries. You'll talk to an AI trained on your purchasing habits that's designed to predict what you'll buy before you even know you want it. Eliminating human workers and, personal choice so you can have the privilege of talking to a bot instead of a person. 29% of consumers say they're more likely to shop on sites with AI chatbots. We're demanding our own obsolescence. We're begging for the automation that eliminates jobs while making shopping more convenient. And then, OpenAI announces that starting December, you can use ChatGPT for erotica. I keep talking about that one because it blows my mind. The same company with Pentagon contracts, trillion-dollar space deals, and Walmart grocery integration is going to help you write horny fan fiction. Because nothing says coherent business strategy like military AI, space computers, buy milk, become drugstore novelist. Here's what happened next. When OpenAI can't pay for the $1 trillion they've committed to, Broadcom eats losses When Broadcom fails, creditors hurt. When creditors collapse, pension funds evaporate. When pensions disappear, retirees learn they don't have retirement. And the surveillance? Well, it's not going to go away. It'll just, go to somebody that can afford to run it without, as many rules and things. And, that Harvard study we talked about a moment ago, they're not coming, the jobs aren't coming back either. Showing a 7.7% reduced hiring rate. That's with only 17% of companies using AI. What happens when it's 50% or 80%? We could have had Star Trek, guys. And instead, we chose to build Black Mirror. We could have cured diseases. We chose to optimize sexting. But hey, at least the chatbot can help you write a really killer cover letter for that job that was eliminated last Tuesday. I'll see you next time, assuming the portable nuclear reactor doesn't melt down and the surveillance drone doesn't flag this video as a national security threat. But, this is fine. Everything's fine. It's all fine. I'll see you in the next episode.